We are currently heading from the UNT area back across the tracks. We just went from Ponder to Congress Street. Got my trusty lights on. Back in the day, I rode with no lights, and then I had a close call and realized that was dumb of me. And then I got some blinky lights that were a little brighter than the last pair, and I kept upgrading. And then I saw someone one day with really good lights, so I asked them what kind of lights they were, and they told me. And the set of lights were, I don't know, 70 something bucks, which back in the day would have sounded really expensive, but if you think about it, it's really not that expensive if it's making you visible. Because back when I had my little blinky lights, I didn't have a spotlight like I do right now, so I couldn't see where I was going. I wasn't nearly as noticeable. And the backlight that I have now, if I'm riding behind someone else with the same light, I'm like blinded practically. So super bright, makes you noticeable, totally worth it. And the ones I have are USB rechargeable, so I don't have to buy batteries so far. I've had the lights, I don't know, like a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I've really, really enjoyed them. There's a variety of kinds, so if you ever see someone on a bicycle or know somebody that has the lights, you should ask them what kind they have. Super important to be seen, because in the dark, if you don't have lights, you're invisible. Which took me a little bit to figure out for some reason. You kind of learn over time. If you know somebody who bikes, that'll speed up your learning process so you don't have to do stupid stuff to figure out what not to do. So we are still on Congress. It's a really nice cut through to get across town. And I think this person's not paying attention. There we go. Another reason for a nice bright light, because that probably got into their rear view mirror. Therefore, they noticed that someone was behind them, and they eventually went. So one of my favorite things when I normally ride through here is smelling the greenhouse. It smells so good. And normally if I'm in my car, I have my windows up and I don't smell it. So that's one of my favorite things on my bike, is all of the smells I can smell. All right, here we are at Oakland. So I'm going to be turning right up here. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this lane because there's not enough space for me and a car in this lane. I don't want to make anyone think that there is, because even if someone's not trying to be scare you or threaten you or whatever. If you make it look like there's space, they might accidentally think that there was. It doesn't mean they'll hit you, but they'll make you uncomfortable. So it's better to stay in the middle. Don't give the impression that there's space if there's not. And you have the legal right to be in the middle. So yeah, we're heading all the way across town. If I had been going to TW, I would have turned left back there onto probably Austin Street. It's a little less busy and a little more smooth than Oakland. So I just saw a cyclist back there with no lights, and I almost didn't see him. Like I said, no lights and you're invisible. I don't even have a windshield between me and everything around me, and I still didn't see him almost. He signaled with his hand though. So at least he's communicating, but I don't know if anybody can see his signals. So this is Mingo. If I need to cross a road like Mingo, I usually get as close as I can to a crossing so I don't have to spend much time on it. So I do the same thing when I'm trying to cross McKinney. I just try to find a place where two roads meet up, and then I try to cross at that point, or just where they're pretty close together. Although lately I've gotten to where I will ride on McKinney for a little bit if it's late at night, because there's two lanes either way. People can easily go around you if you have these nice bright lights like I do. People can see you, they will pass you, no big deal. But usually I can catch a pretty large break in the traffic anyway. So usually people don't have to pass me because I just wait until there's a nice comfortable break. But I only do that at night usually, because I actually feel more visible at night because of my lights. So now we are on Paisley. It runs parallel to McKinney, and so it's a really good way to get on the east side of town. Another decent way is to take Hickory Street because it's very wide, and once you get out of the square area and you get past Bell, there's not very much traffic either. And then you just cut behind the courthouse or something to continue on. I used to do that when I lived at the parks of Denton. That worked pretty well.